Hello, my name is Derek, and I will be talking about, as you can see, gender inequality in the video game industry. As an avid gamer, I would like to think I know a lot about this, but at the same time, I'm not like an exact expert on it all. But I did do my research, so we're gonna have a fun talk about this. Well, I'm gonna talk to this computer, but you know what I mean. Whatever. Let's see here. So we're gonna start with video games. Well, I just said them, but most games, especially this year for E3, were male dominated. So games such as like Assassin's Creed, The Witcher, um, just a bunch of different games. If you don't know what these games are, you can look them up, or you don't have to worry about it. All you really need to know is that they were male dominated. Most games seem to have a lack of representation of females. There are some games with different choices, so to speak, like the recent new Call of Duty. You can be a female or a male. It's up to you. You can choose whatever you want. There was, however, very few games with female protagonists. You can like Tomb Raider. You can choose, or you can't choose. You are a female. There's no choice. The thing is with that is there's just not so much. In my paper, I put up a graph of how that compares to, like, the percentages wise, how it compares to each other. So with the paper attached to this, you'll be able to see it. With the few games that do have lots of females in them, they seem to be heavily sexualized. Like when you have Final Fantasy, or once again The Witcher. I'm going to talk about that again, probably multiple times, because it's a really good representation, personally, I think. They just, compared to guy characters, their armor and clothing is just lacking. So, say like a guy gets like some massive, awesome, cool armor compared to a girl who gets, well, say she has like the same exact armor, same armor type, everything. However, she has the least amount compared to the guy. So, there's just not enough armor there. In reality, that cannot protect you. Come on, that's stupid. Like in the new game Destiny, both male and female get the same looking armor, regardless of gender, and it's pretty cool. But regardless of that, many games still sexualize females, and so on and so forth. So I will talk about The Witcher again. It was a really highly anticipated game. It's a good game. I played it. I enjoyed it quite well. But obviously, if anyone has played it or seen anything on it or anything about being talked about on it, it has been a little like sexualizing towards females, so to speak, because this is in the olden time, so it tends to make it so women are just sex objects. They can do nothing else but staying at home and cleaning and all this other stuff, and that guy's just going around having sex with them. Now, I realize that we're trying to get away from that view, because that's not how we want to perceive everyone. Everyone wants to be equal. Like nowadays, even I could stay at home and take care of the kids and do dishes and stuff, which doesn't bother me. I could do that. But this is why I think the explanation is reasonable. Back then, that was how it was. It's just how it was, and I believe the game shows an accurate representation of how it was in this time. And it's also a fantasy world, but that doesn't excuse the fact that it's putting us back, and we're trying to be more progressive about this kind of thing. So I think there's a middle ground to where it's bad, but it's also good. It's something that should be looked into. It's never going to go away, especially if we're talking about historically speaking, so to speak. I just said speaking twice, but either way, it's something we're going to have to move on to. But I digress. Next slide. So, with how much we're sexualizing females and everything, or the lack of representation, I guess the real question is, do people even want to play the female character? This is another picture I put up on my paper. It's down lower. I've mentioned it. You don't even need to really read the paper. You can just scroll all the way down and see it. But most guys, including me, either have zero preference to what they play as. They'll play as a female or male. They just want to play the game. Or they actually prefer to play females. I mean, there's still some guys who prefer a male character, but nowadays for guys, the majority rules that we just don't care. Like, we'll play as a female, we'll play as a male. Equally, we'll enjoy the game. But actually, women definitely prefer playing as a female. And it's just this, like how it was been the survey went, how the statistics went. So I think personally, as a whole, the industry would start benefiting from having girls be more of a lead protagonist in video games. Like more games like Tomb Raider, or more games like what's another one? See, that's the problem. There's not like I can name off a bunch of games with male protagonists, but there's not a lot of games with females. So it's a hard. It should not be a hard argument to make, which I think is another problem. So the industry would start making more money because female gamers are on the rise, and if they want to play as female characters, we should start giving them games to play as female characters. Granted, yes, we now have a lot more games where you can play as both genders, but there's not enough games where it's just a lead female character, and that's it. Like, that's what Tomb Raider is. Lead female. She's the star of the game. You can't choose anyone else. It's just Lara Croft. That's who it is. It's nice. So that's how it should go. But we still got some time for that to work happen. We just need to keep trying for it. But that's in video games. There also is another problem outside of games, as in girl gamers. They're just like us, just like me. They play as hard, they want to play every and any game, and we should all be equally like fair about it online. But when we play, not me, because I usually don't talk online, because I just like to play games. For when girls play with guys, a good majority, depending on the community, don't do this, but for the most part, girls are not treated equally online. They are either seen as the lesser players, or they're very sexualized. Guys will hit on them, or they'll just berate them the entire time. That's not how it should be online, but that's how it is. There was a study done to show how guys interact with girls while playing, and how guys interact with guys playing video games. And that also can be seen on my paper. It's just when guys are playing with guys, it's like, oh, hey, nice game, bro, or whatever, or they talk smack to each other, whatever. But when the guy is talking to a girl, they tend to want to be like, hey, girl, let me get your number. Or they'll start saying really demeaning things. Or they'll be like, since you're a girl, get out of my way and I'll do this better, play the objective better. When in reality, girls can play a lot better than most guys I've seen in video games. There's some guys I know who suck at games compared to some girls I know who can definitely outplay them in Halo or Call of Duty. So I think it's just stupid for most guys to act like that when there's a female playing with them on their team or against them. However, there was, in the same study with that, they came up with a pretty reasonable explanation, but it's something that we need to get over with because it's just stupid. We have like an evolutionary instinct to be on top physically. But since, nowadays with modern times and stuff, not a lot of guys can be physically on top, so they have to go to physical or social means, so to speak, through video games, where they feel top dog because they have that kind of fake physical power in the virtual world, and when a female steps on that, they feel threatened, so they want to try to overtake the female, so to speak. This is a really stupid thing for guys to be doing, but it's just how it is. I personally don't feel that way, but a lot of guys seem to feel that way. And it's just not something that should be prevalent in online games anymore, because it's stupid. It's a fucking video game. And I just swore, so I am sorry about that. But it's just really annoying. It's just a video game to have some fun. There's no need to be on top or anything. Like, if you're that into a video game, you should recheck your life. But what can we do to change about all of this? Well, we just need to stop being annoying. Guys, just stop. It's a video game. Calm down. And they can play just as well as we can. And blah blah blah, whatever. It's a game. We need to start making females more prevalent in video games. I'm also a game developer. I'm starting to go work on video games myself. I'm going to try to push for more female characters in video games. That's just what we should be doing. Even if they're not fully the lead protagonists, they need to at least be shown more and not sexualized. We need to have more female gamers because they're just as important as guys are in the gaming community. We just all need to be equal in playing video games. That's just how it should be. But in all, I think we are definitely moving forward with it all. It's not so much an issue as it was before, but there's still some problems that are within the community that we need to fix. So hopefully very soon, because it seems we are moving that way. Because even at E3, we now have more female hosts instead of just guy hosts. Before, it was always male hosts, but now it's more female hosts because we have more female gamers to come and play. So I think we're moving into a good direction. So I hope that becomes a lot more prevalent very soon, at least within 5 years, maybe less. Hopefully a lot less. I'm hoping by next year maybe. But games do take a lot to develop, so we won't know for maybe a couple years. But that is where I stand with this, and I don't know if I articulated that well or not, but hopefully I got my point across, and you guys enjoyed the video. Alright, thank you.